let's move on down to D-Town in Detroit, Motown. Heading over there, Dapper Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes running the game, biting ankles, doing his thing. And the question we are always going to ask, are you a good head coach or are you a great head coach? Can you sustain coordinator changes, brother? Two of your peoples, they out the building, but you still got your GM in the building, Brad Holmes. Where were you at on Dapper Dan Campbell?
I love Dan. I love Dan as a coach. To me, Dan is one of those like uh, what's the popular saying? He's a player's coach. He's a man's man. You know what I'm saying? I like
Yep.
Dan. Um, losing his coordinators, I think is gonna losing his coordinators, losing Frank Ragnow. I think that's gonna be a big change next year, which is the reason I don't have them doing as good as they did this year or last year. They're gonna be fighting for second or third in the NFC North. Um, I don't know, man. He's a good motivator, but we're about to find out this year what kind of game planner he is.
Yep. I'm excited to see myself because I do think people, I think everybody wants to see, but I think we're missing, I think people are missing the like, remember, Dan took a lot of heat for the first year in Detroit. There was a
Hmm.
lot of people like him. And, there was a lot of names in that building people weren't aware of until they started to pick it up that back half for the second year and, ended strong and carried it into the next season. So, definitely got my respect. Again, I'm on notice with them too. Just wanting to see how he sustains the coordinator changes. And again, Brad Holmes, the GM, has just done a great job of drafting and finding the right pieces and stuff. So
Yeah,
again, I just like what they've built over there. And to me, they've built a team that is almost immune to be bad.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But again, like last year was just such a like almost like a perfect pitch season.
yeah.
It's very hard to double down on
And
that. I
and
know the Aliens,
and I mean the caveat with that is they went the last quarter of the season with a depleted defense
yeah, a
and a
lot of people,
significantly depleted defense. So
yeah,
I I, I feel like we can easily look at Dan Campbell and put him situationally in the same conversation as Nick Sirianni, right? Either one of these dudes are defensive or offensive geniuses, right?
yeah,
They're great at managing everything. They're great at,
yeah,
at getting their guys and banding them together and just getting them where they need to go, right?
yeah,
So to me, I almost look at that this year and say, damn, you lost a lot. The difference
yeah,
between you and Nick is every year Nick had a different coordinator. He's
yeah,
proven that he can do it. This is the first year we're gonna have to see with you.
yep. And that's where all eyes are at. Damn, we watching, man. Are you a good coach or you a great coach? Can you sustain the coordinator change, brother? That's all. All right, let's get into it. I know we both said already the last year we expected the Lions to do good things. What they did was killer. Uh, Again, to end the season the way they did, I just kind of double back to being like, you guys won the Houston game and Jared threw all them picks. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like it's just that side of Jared, which I feel bad for because like Jared the year before in the NFC Championship game hooped and the team let him down with drop passes and fumbles. So I just kind of felt bad that that was the sword that kind of ended that group of guys there. So yeah, that was crazy, but the point differential ridiculous. We looked at the offensive stats when we looked at the Bears, top of the league in passing, top of the league in rushing. The rushing average was ridiculous. Just top to bottom, a really good roster, like you said, with a depleted defense. Aiden Hutchinson was Penta walking his way to a defensive player of the year before he got hurt.
easily, and maybe
Like
even
that,
maybe even the sack record. Like that's
yeah,
that's
like
what kind of
Penta,
pace he was on.
Aiden was on MVP level push how he was hooping. So I understand every frustration. Like if you're a Lions fan and you're like, these injuries curse them. I understand all of that, man. Jameer Gibbs, monster. David Montgomery, monster. St. Brown. I know I've been lower on him than most, monster. Jameson Williams, killing it, man. Yeah, and they've put together a really, really, really good team and have drafted really well. It said the team is set up in such a way where it almost can't be bad. You know what I'm saying? Like the team just can't be bad. That's how I look at this roster. And so Can you go to the depth chart, please, and go to defense?
Yes, sir.
To Aiden returning, the addition of DJ Reader, Marcus Davenport, Jack Campbell, who I would like to see a leap from. Underrated pickup to me, that I think is going to pay big money for them. Tyleek
Tyleek
Williams.
Williams.
Yeah, Tyleek Williams. I think he's going to hoop. I really like the makeup of the secondary. Arnold Branch, DJ Reed, Straw Jr. I really like the secondary makeup. I don't want to leave out Kirby Joseph either, but I like the makeup of said the team top to bottom. It's a really solid team with a better roster to me. It's just almost bulletproof to being bad.
Yeah.
Unless, like I said, unless the coordinator changes affect them so much, it would still feel like this team would find a way to be like, hey, we're 7, 8 wins just because we're like really nice roster.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the
We will
benefits
take that as a
of
standard with 7, 8 games.
one of the
Yeah,
benefits of having all the injuries last year is now you have game experience for a lot of these guys, right?
yeah,
So now you have some depth, especially going into the playoffs, and a lot of these guys being able to step up and play in the playoffs. I really like Malcolm Rodriguez. He's been on the bench for a little while.
and I
Anzalone,
remember the James Houston push that people used to be James Houston. Watch out for James Houston, and
yeah,
brother,
brothers lost.
MIA. Yeah,
I really like Alex Anzalone. He was one of those. He's one of those motor guys. So I hope he does. Like you said, Jack Campbell. I hope he does step up this year. But that that linebacker core is probably the weakest part of this defense.
yeah.
Unfortunately, talent
I,
wise.
I mess with Campbell. I do mess with Campbell and Anzalone, but yeah, you're right. I would say I like the secondary and I like the front, so not a bad thing. But I would agree with you
Yeah.
there. I would agree with you there. The coordinator changes, man, is the highlight sustaining that. But outside of that, man, Gibbs and Montgomery, even when Reynolds comes in the game,
Yeah.
absolutely fire. Um, JMO, who and what he really becomes without Ben Johnson and Sam Laporta. I do think both of them benefited a lot from Ben Johnson's play calling. I think they were put in a lot of good situations to take advantage of their talents. Seeing what they are without that, because I can still guarantee Detroit's going to be able to run that ball.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm not saying that Amon Ra isn't going to run up his 100 catches and J-Mo isn't going to burn people. I do believe Laporta still good and Williams is very high on them. Who they are in this next offense is going to be very telling.
Yeah.
I think that really is the wild card for me in that offense is and for their team is who is Jameis and Laporta without Ben Johnson. Because I don't doubt the talent of the player. I want to see how they're going to be used.
I think I think one thing I'm looking at this year is I think we're gonna see a different style of running. One thing about Ben Johnson, he has some exotic runs that were just they were perfectly called, they were perfectly planned. The whole game plan of the run game was just it was
Yeah,
beautiful. The way they ran the ball was beautiful.
yeah,
Um, New OC, new DC. I think we're gonna probably see a different style of how these guys run the ball, which it's not a bad thing. Obviously nobody's gonna call plays like Ben Johnson didn't know was gonna draw up
yeah.
plays like that. But I think we're gonna be able to see a little bit more dynamic, traditional running from David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs.
And what?
Um, this
Yeah,
might be Jameer Gibbs RB1 season, even though
yeah.
he's kind of been RB1 the last 2 years, anyways.
I want to see if Glasgow stays at center or if Tate Ratledge ends up. I heard some little whispers about Tate Ratledge could possibly do some
Slide
center
over.
work. Yeah, and the biggest loser in the Ben Johnson leaving is Dan Skipper. The brother's not
Yeah.
going to get another career receiving touchdown. So, yeah, brother, you were a product of coordinator, brother. You're not going to get that love anymore. If
I
Dan
think he
Skipper
just
gets
signed
a
another. I
receiving
think he just signed
touchdown,
another
y'all
contract
at
too.
me.
He
Yeah,
just got another
Dan
contract too.
Skipper has maxed out as a wide receiver. He has no more potential as a wide receiver. Get him off of your fantasy
No
teams.
more fantasy value. This man
Yeah,
gave
no
you
more
like
fantasy
triple
value
points
from
when he
Dan
caught a
Skipper.
touchdown.
He's out of there. He's out of there. Get Dan Skipper off your lineups. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Yeah, but yeah, for real for me, just seeing who J-Mo and Laporta is with the new play calling and with the
Yeah.
defense, like you said, like I know it's a new coordinator over there too, but just being healthy, like God, we miss Aiden. Aiden was walking himself to a historical season, man, and I feel like we were robbed of that, man. So, yeah, I think just being healthy, I expect them to be firing. I said, the Packers and the Vikings, I had a question mark about their secondary. I really like Detroit's secondary. They said in their front, so I like how they're set up.
Yeah.
And
Bunch
Dan
of
Jackson on
dogs.
the back end to that, so yeah, I mess with them. So yeah.
Players to watch for me is just going to be that linebacker core: Anzalone, Campbell, and Barnes. Like you said, I like Campbell. I like Barnes. I like Anzalone, but I don't know when I compare them to the quality of what they have on that D line and then the quality of what they have in the secondary. That to me is just what stands out. I'm not saying they're super bad. I'm not saying they're not good.
Yeah.
That to me is just where the key is for me for these guys.
Yeah, yeah, but I tell you, I'm with you. I'm with you, and I agree. I'm with you, and I agree on that. All right, let's get to a floor and a ceiling for Detroit. Ooh, at Green Bay to open, I gave Green Bay that, but
Yep.
then they got at home versus the Bears. I gave them that. Then at Monday night, the Ravens. This is a game that the Ravens blow, and people say Lamar Jackson flow drop off. Boo, the Ravens suck. Um, but I'm
Oh,
gonna
I
give
don't
them
know.
the L that one.
Lamar's only
Yeah,
lost
but
to
that's
two NFC
yeah,
teams
yeah,
in the last couple years, and they're both. I think it
yeah,
was both Philly.
yeah. But that last time they did go up to Baltimore, it did not go well. I'm still gonna give Baltimore that dub. So right now they're 1-2 to start the
One and
season.
two.
They get their dub in Cleveland. Cleveland's just taking too many L's on this side of it.
Hey, it felt like every time
Cincinnati,
we see Cleveland, it's the dub.
yeah. Cincinnati, Kansas City, Tampa before the bye week. I feel like the team is good enough to go 2-1 during that stretch.
Yeah, I think they'll beat Cincinnati. It's gonna be.
I I feel like the team is good enough to go 2-1 during that stretch. I I like I like the other teams too, and their away games. So I mean, they would obviously have to win one of the away games and win at home versus Tampa on Monday. I'm not gonna pick which one. You know what I'm saying?
Me neither.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna pick which one. I'm just gonna say I think they go 2-1 over that stretch. So to up into the bye week, I have them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.
4-3.
Yeah, 4 wins up to the bye week. That's the floor. Coming out the bye week at home versus Minnesota, get your dub.
5.
At Washington, second window. At Washington,
Is it
second window game.
Washington who they lost to in the playoffs?
Yep.
This might gonna have to be a revenge game, but it ain't Ben Johnson. He
Yeah.
should have Aiden here.
And it's on the road. On the road. Back to back road games. It's not kind.
Might be back-to-back losses.
Looking like it. I'm looking like it. So there's five. 3 home games in a row. I'm gonna give them the 3.
Yeah, they're gonna win all 3 of those.
So we're up to 8 at the Rams. The
Nah.
which should be the final matchup of McVay, Goff, and Stafford. Like this should be the last matchup we see of this, unless they play in the playoffs. Um, McVay and them.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
giving
take
it
them
to
at home
McVay
versus
and them.
Pittsburgh,
Yep. On the
at
road,
Minnesota.
back-to-back losses to end the season.
Freak. This is bad for a team that
6,
went
7,
15.
8,
I feel like their floor.
7 floor, 8 floor.
That's what I'm saying. We gave them a 7 floor.
Hey man, like we have to acknowledge the anomaly from last year that was the NFC North. Like we have to acknowledge
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
This ain't
Everybody
gonna
can.
happen again. Like this is not happening.
Yeah.
Not in this division. Not with a schedule like this. So, and I think that's why when we say 8 and we say 9, we almost cringe because it's like y'all just coming off of a double-digit win season, convincingly.
So floor is 7.
Yeah.
which is lower floor than the Packers and the Vikings.
Yeah, and I mean, I said they're gonna be battling for that number 2, 3 spot because I think Green Bay has the best
Ceiling,
path to number one.
the ceiling is
10,
11.
11. I'm cool with that.
The ceiling is 11.
4-win difference.
Yeah,
That means
it's
they'd
a
have to come on the road some of these games and come and
Baltimore.
steal some of these games.
Yeah, Baltimore. They'd have to split and or sweep that back to back L we gave them to Washington to Philly.
Mm,
They would have to split one of them to find a way to get one of them. The McVay road game, going up to the Rams, that's one. And in
these,
the end of the year, we gave them on paper back to back L's being there, but
yeah,
we don't know where Minnesota or Chicago could be at that point of the season either, though. It's a
yeah.
Christmas game, and we don't know what that last game of the season could mean because from where we were
Chicago
with
might be
Chicago,
playing spoiler at that point.
yeah, like Chicago might be aimed. So that's just another thing. So, yeah, I hate that to put it like that, but I do think there is a 7 floor, but I see it like an 11 ceiling. I want to lean closer to 9 because this is tough. It's tough. We gave them 3 in a row at Giants, Green Bay, and Dallas,
Yeah, yeah, hell yeah.
which I don't feel like that's wrong to say that, but you know what I'm saying?
3 games at home after a
Yeah,
back-to-back road stretch. You
yeah,
almost
yeah,
gotta be inclined to go home and perform, regardless of what happened on
yeah,
the road.
yeah. So it's crazy. So we're 7 floor, 11 ceiling. That's crazy. All right, so the way we got it sounding like is we both have Packers winning,
Yep. Green
Packers
Bay
winning the
won.
division.
Minnesota right now is probably more lined up for number 2.
I got to go Detroit.
Cool with that.
I
Cool with
got
that.
to
I
go
think
Detroit.
they
So,
have a
so
higher
like
ceiling.
I think seeing the fact that we had them at a 7 floor, I think I'm trying to like fight against that, even though I like Minnesota's record, like Minnesota's schedule favored them a little better.
Mm.
Yeah, I think we're both leaving. We're both of us having the Packers,
And the Bears at the bottom.
Bears at the bottom.
Yeah, two or three is gonna be a toss up for sure. Especially with the
Yeah,
way I mean like you said, Minnesota probably has a favorable schedule, but Detroit almost has more of the experience, a little bit more of kind of those tangibles that we're looking at. Player wise, they haven't really changed too much of the roster. Where as you
yeah.
look at the Minnesota Vikings, then the biggest factor for them is JJ.
All right. I got some comments here, 2 of them from the TikTok comment section. I'm not gonna say their names because I don't want to mess them up. But somebody said the Packers will finish 4th in the division. That's
They must be a
opposite of
Bears
us.
fan.
Yeah, they're opposite of us. And the homie Don't Free Sleep, he's a Broncos fan. He be on here. He said the Vikings have a losing record. Packers will go 9-8. Bears will make the playoffs as a 7 seed, and Lions win the division, but only with a 10-7 or 11-6 record. So it'll be Lions, Bears, Packers, Vikings. So he's
Damn.
basically saying that the Lions will win the division at 10-7 or 11-6, and then the Bears will get the 7th seed. So the Bears should be 9-8 and get the 7th seed in his scenario
Hey, I'm here for it.
and go from there. So
I'd love to see that happen.
yeah. All right. Let's do this real quick. Rank at the end of next year. How will the quarterback rankings in the NFC North go?
Love, Goff, McCarthy, Williams. Love,
I
Goff,
think
McCarthy, Williams.
I'm gonna have to go Love Williams. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm gonna go Caleb over JJ.
Caleb over JJ. I'm cool with that.
Yes, it should be Love Golf, Caleb JJ. Just at the end of next year.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you for rocking with us. NFC North. We will get to some more takes here about it. We will double back and do our full conference videos. Uh, Drop your comments. Say what you want to say. Please, no talking about people's moms, and all is good to go. Thank you for rocking with us. I'm Vita. That's Soy. The next time you see us, we will be talking about the AFC North. So thank you for rocking with us. We out.